G'day class users, Chris DeBro back from the NACLAT class team. This DIY recipe is called Services by Court or Tribunal. We're talking about being able to break up a services list by the court or tribunal name. So let me show you what it's all about. This is an interesting report because it really opens up some functionality that is fairly underutilized and perhaps even unknown by a lot of centres. The functionality is designed to be able to record what court or tribunal you've got. Now it's in actions. We're here in a court or tribunal service type and we can click actions. And if we go new, there is a variety of action types, and of course you can create your own as well. This court attendance one is quite considerably different to all the others, and one of the most important ones is this court type. So it allows you to select what court type, but I've created a local court, and that's the idea that you'd create your own regional courts or tribunals, so you'd be able to keep a tab on them. You also may want to use the attendance date once you know it. As of September 2018, when I'm recording this video, there is a glitch here with the due date. It actually shouldn't be there unless there was a reminder set. So at the moment, you can just put in anything and press OK, but it will not be required because it seems to clash with the attendance date. Created by will be automated to the person who is logged in. You can also, to these court attendance dates, the idea is to put your description of what's going on, good case or something like that, and we'll just save and close. Now, just quickly, before I go and show you the report, I want to remind you where you can edit those things. So this is more for administrators. Under System Settings and Types and Categories, it is under the court name type. And here we have your list of all the courts that were pulled generally from the old CILSIS database. And then, of course, you can create your own. You'd have to map it up to an existing. So if it's another local court or a tribunal or something like that, you can just go New, and grab the parent of one of the existing courts, like say a local or magistrate's court, depending on your jurisdiction, etc. Similarly, your tribunal could be mapped to any of the kind of more higher level tribunals. So the idea is you put your own local stuff in and then you can choose it. You could also set a default if you're doing almost everything at your centre as that particular court or tribunal, and also importantly hide all the ones you just don't use. So a lot of these are sort of generalist kind of things across the country, and many of you just simply won't need to use all these. So hide all of them, so you're only left with the appropriate list. So then when we want to go and see them, as usual, for the report, we would go to Reports, Accountability and Reports. And we want to look for our DIY template to get started. Now the template we need is services actions. Okay, so it's got services information, but also importantly the actions, because this information is inside the action. The court attendance action, to be specific. For time, really, I'm going to just pick, say, the last 12 months to date, but you'll want to pick whatever it is you'll need. That's a rolling date range. Service date, I'll go to open. You could do closed or do various other things. That will cover everything. And we'll do all funding cats. And I'll include custom fields. So, which fields? I'll click the hamburger to give us a little bit more room. We're going to start with court type. So we just need to right click and show field list. And I'll just, as usual, pull this open by grabbing the corner and moving it across. Let's go to court type. Now, if you can't find it, we can actually just do a search in Chrome. It's usually Command F on a Mac, and I think it's Control on a PC, where you'll get a little pop-up and you could just say, okay, it'll be something like court, and it'll give you everything. It'll come up on the page as well, but then eventually you'll end up hitting the pivot list and being able to find the one. So we're actually after court type, so I'm just going to throw that in the row fields here, as opposed to data items. And we'll go to, say, service ID. Again, I can quickly get to it by typing in my search here, say service, and clicking through. Actually, there's a whole lot of services, but there's the ID, and I'll put that next to it. So ID list will be there. I'm thinking maybe one of the dates could be date of creation, could be a number of other ones as well, like the date of attendance, which is what, where were we? I'll just click on that to show you. Date of creation, of course, is the service. We could, if you're using attendance date, maybe I'll put the attendance date in so you could be able to see if things are coming up or have been, etc. Back to our report. Date of creation I'll just use because I want to show the actual service. And I'm thinking the first name and last name. Now in this report, that is actually called client first name, client last name. So we're going to find that. There we go, client first name and client last name. And I think what we'll do is just do the notes so you can see the notes and have a brief understanding of what's going on as well. Again, what I mean by that is that you can drop your notes, say in this case it was a good case, and it will grab the first couple of lines, and it's often a good thing to be able to see which services you're talking about, and particularly the actions. So this is called action notes, and we'll drop that in. Well, I just missed it. Drop that into the side there. Now, the other thing I think I'll do is a little count just of the number of services so we can see what is going on. Especially if we've got lots of services in the same court or tribunal, you'll be able to see that by the count. And that will add over here the count. All right, so let's run that report. See what we've come up with. Okay, generally speaking, you'll start with a blank. So what we haven't done is said, for example, that this is only a court tribunal service. We could filter that by dropping in a filter of service type, but we can actually get rid of that by filtering the court type to remove the blanks, and it'll only give us the actions that actually have an actual court type, which will remove most of our services. So I'm going to get rid of the blanks and save that. That's the last step you want to do. And now we can see we've only got services that actually have a court type selected. And we also have, if I make that a little bit smaller, we also have, say, a bunch of those in our little local court that we created, and it gives us the count and also the total just for that, and also gives a grand total. So that's a quick way just to pull up a list. You can keep tabs on where all your court tribunal work is. All right, that's the report. Chris Dubrow signing off.